And happy 4th of July to you. Yep. In honor, I'm wearing my father-in-law served in the Navy.
Hey,
and
shout
my
out
brother-in-law. Shout out
to
Willie and Denwell.
Yep.
Serving in the Navy and for our great country. So in honor of them, I'm wearing my Navy hat.
Let's give it up for the troops. You know what I'm saying? Troops. God bless America and God bless our troops.
Episode 250.
250?
As America turns 249.
Hell yeah.
Next year, 250. That's a big one.
What's the best year of... never mind. That's
best year of America?
No, but that's a little divisive.
That's true.
You'd be like, which year? And why was it like that?
Yeah, who are you asking? Episode 250, though, for the podcast, we're continuing through the NFL, specifically through the NFC, specifically through the NFC West. We covered the... Is this our first NFC West?
Yeah, we just finished the Bucks. Yeah, so...
I was going to say,
now we're in the NFC
West. We just finished the NFC South. Now we're in the NFC West, covering the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Obviously, often a topic of conversation on this show with Brock Purdy and that whole thing and Debo. And it's a team and organization that is one of the pillar franchises of the NFL.
Yeah.
One of those ones where, like, if they're in the playoffs against another old school team, it's like this is a throwback game.
I want to ask you, I wish I should have done this earlier.
Throw it out there.
Right before we do the whole thing breakdown. Give me one word to describe the Niners. And I want to see the same word after we go through it. Because we've been viewing these teams differently after we kind of break it down.
Oh, okay.
So what's like the one word you say to describe the Niners?
Jeez. Break it all down to one word?
Like change. Mine words like...
Oh, like...
Change. Yeah, like, it's man. Where is now? Like, I thought about today, like, because we just did the Bucks, and I was it would literally be Baker to describe, like, Baker is the Bucks. Like, that's the...
I'm way too in my head to come up with one word, but I'll try. One word to describe the Niners 2025 season.
Like, just like the vibe, not like,
at the moment, the vibe. Yeah, I mean, it's changed. Turnover, change.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. Like, it's like the...
Brock.
Because, like, it's a whole new era of Niners. They let a lot of vets go. Greenlaw, Hargrove, Debo. A lot of guys who are like the face of them. Now it's like a new era. So I'm excited to like, break them down and like talk about them.
Before we get into any of that, if you're listening to the channel for the first time, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Like, subscribe. That's a great way to support the show for free. If you would, please. Thank you so much for joining us, whether it's your day one or you're a day one follower. We appreciate you hanging out with us, talking football. We're in the depths of the offseason at the moment. Usually, 4th of July weekend is like the lowest point.
Yeah.
Like it's the lowest point. The Ramsey trade kind of gave us that little hit of dopamine a couple days ago, but
shot in the
there's nothing going on right now.
I think July 16th is the first day of football.
We're 2 weeks away from people starting to report, then about a month away from training camps really firing up. So we're in the depths, but we're having a great time right now. It's the perfect time to stop, look at these rosters, and look at what they really look like going forward, and kind of give our take on it. And so we'll be doing that for the next couple of weeks as we are about to finish up the NFC as a whole here after the West, and then head into the AFC. Of course, a ton of conversations to happen on that side as well.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, thanks for joining us for that as well.
Audio,
whether that's Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for joining us there. Please rate the show, leave a comment if you will. Those are all great free ways to support us that we appreciate so much.
Yes.
And of course, follow us on all these social media platforms. That's X, TikTok, and Instagram. Threads. We're on Threads, actually. I put us on Threads.
Nice.
And I didn't know. They automatically have just been putting our posts over on Threads. I know.
Oh, so we've been on Threads.
We've been on Threads.
So we're veterans of Threads.
I didn't know that's how that worked.
Hell yeah.
We're on Threads if
we're everywhere,
if
bitch.
you're a bot watching and you're on Threads as well. We are there. And then I think it's all the socials, right?
Yep.
We're on Twitch and stuff for our live stream stuff. If you have those platforms, whatever. Search at Bench Show to follow us on any of those different platforms. And we put a bunch of stuff. We're having a good time right now. We're doing a lot of lists right now.
Yeah.
A lot of ranking stuff. Just kind of fun stuff. Also, we had some fantasy stuff coming up here for those of you like us that are deep into the fantasy world.
Yeah. Yeah. Dynasty. I'm thinking Dynasty. Fantasy football. Fantasy football is the perfect way to introduce yourself or the casual fan into football again.
Yeah.
Oh, do a draft. They pick the guys you know. Then you get into real football. It's a nice marriage.
So the 49ers.
Yeah.
Heading into 2025, look like a very different team than it did last year, than they have the last couple of years. I think I want to reserve judgment, and I don't want to cop out. I like on a lot of the conversations we're going to have here, but a lot of it is just, well, let's see if that works, type thing. You can see Pats where it would, and you see Pats where it wouldn't, and We'll give our takes on what we think is more likely.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's going to be that because it's just so new. Like the word that you chose was change. Mine was turnover. Like that's what it is. Just a new regime. It's a pivot. It's an organizational pivot. They had a nice run. Listen, you can't always win the Super Bowl. And not all great organizations are winning a bunch of Super Bowls. The Bills have been great last couple of years. The Ravens have been fantastic since their last Super Bowl. It doesn't mean they're not being run well and doing things right. They're just not winning Super Bowls. And said this is one of those organizations that have been doing pretty well as far as the last 10 years.
Yeah, they've been it's kind of where like you want to be if you're good enough to get to playoffs but you never win. Like say like the Bucks, like they're good enough to get in but you're not sure if they're going to win.
I'd say they were a little beyond that.
Yeah, that's the perfect example of like the next tier. Like we're going to get to the Super Bowl or the title game. Like that's a pretty good spot for a fan and for a franchise.
That's all you can ask. Just to kind of put that caveat out there. But let's jump into a couple of additions, offseason headlines, that kind of thing. Key additions. I hate to start with Bryce Huff because that's not the biggest thing that happened to this team, but just first on our list here. They bring back in Bryce Huff via trade, 10 sacks, 21 pressure rate 2 years ago when he last played with Robert Saleh. We'll talk about that. Other free agents they brought in, you see that list there. Not a lot of names that really pop out to you. Two names I want to highlight is
speak for yourself,
Mac Jones.
Yeah, but to say
Mac Jones is a backup.
I love Mac Jones.
I think it's fine. It's kind of full circle moment too. How
he
was promised to be the guy that they're going to take. They take Trey Lance now.
Now they both suck.
Now they
Mac Jones
is still in the league.
Mac Jones is nice,
and he looked okay last year in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
and then the other one to highlight though is DeMarcus Robinson. I think he's played good football for the Rams the last couple of years.
Nice wideout.
And as they start this year without Brandon Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall still kind of finding his way and hurt, I think wide receiver depth is going to be not only necessary, but I think Shanahan has shown he can make a wide receiver like DeMarcus Robinson or Jawan Jennings and make him a nice NFL contributor.
And also, like, he might see more playing time because Jawan Jennings is also battling, I think calf issues. So, yeah, he'll get some playing time.
Yeah.
He's shown out last couple years. If you watch Rams games, if you ask a Rams fan, they'll think he's very valuable.
And he's come from a Rams team where there was been two target monsters on that team.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen very much of them. But like Jawan Jennings, when he's been called on, he's delivered.
Yeah.
And so, I want to highlight that. Trey Brown, another name to keep an eye on because of the massive turnover in their secondary. They brought back Kyle Juszczyk. That's one of the few guys from the past that they are going to bring back.
Yeah.
The fullback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Typical Shanahan team.
Well, because it doesn't cost a lot to bring back a fullback.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got some guys coming back here. You got some things going on. Let's look at that key losses and impact spot. Debo traded to the Commanders. Okay, so 2 years ago, Debo puts up 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Last year, he missed 6 games, didn't play all that much. Had similar numbers to Olamide Zaccheaus, who he's now replacing in Washington.
Yeah.
But we know that a healthy Debo, when he's right, as long as he's not like deteriorated with age and it was merely just injury, is much better than Olamide Zaccheaus. So losing Debo from this wide receiver core, it's a loss, but he hasn't been giving you much lately anyway.
Also, you've prepared yourself for this. Yeah.
The covers are stocked.
Yeah, like you kind of already. And it was just time. It just felt like it was time. Like, yeah, it's a loss.
That feels like a real turn of the page, though.
Yeah, because at one point, it was just Debo. Man, that 1 year, 2023 or 2022, where the running backs was hurt. He played running back. He played wideout. He carried this team for a long time as their own playmaker.
I don't like Debo as I can't stand here and talk. I think, whatever. But you cannot deny what he was to this 49ers team, how dominant he was, how much of a tone setter he was with the physicality. I'm an Eagle fan, so I experienced some of that firsthand of him just ripping our hearts out several different times because of just his playmaking ability and the perfect marriage that was with Kyle Shanahan. So the guy deserves his props for his run in San Francisco. He was at many times the face of this offense with a young quarterback like Brock Purdy or a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo who did speak to the media and wasn't that good anyway. George Kittle kind of up there too, but Debo was the one giving the quotes. Debo's on the podcast. Debo's like that guy.
Yeah, he was the voice. After that Eagle game, he was the voice of the...
CMC's kind of quiet.
Yeah. And he was the embodiment of that offense, like just yak, tough thing, tough SOBs out there. And he was, to lose him, it's, as a player, it's tough, but as a personality and a role player, much more impactful.
These next 2 guys I'm going to give you, tell me who's the biggest loss to them. three vets that are integral parts to their run the last 5-6 years. You got Dre Greenlaw going to your Broncos.
Hell yeah.
Charvarius Ward heading over to the Colts. And Talanoa Hufanga going to the Broncos as well. Which one will the 49ers miss the most?
I feel like Greenlaw. Because he was like he was a tone setter.
Him and Warner?
Yeah, that was like one of the best duos in the league. And that was an elite duo. Now, and Warner can do the job of 3 linebackers. But still, like, having Warner next to Greenlaw was very nice. They both can cover. They both can tackle, obviously anything. Hufanga got replaced pretty easily over there. They had a lot of guys over there who can.
They do, but they haven't replaced them.
No, I'm saying like they have like youth there, so I'm not as worried about.
They have a plan there.
Greenlaw, I'm worried because hard to find a linebacker like that.
I'm worried about Charvarius Ward. I think that's the one they're going to miss the most.
Well, with what's his name, Lenore just got arrested.
Yeah, I'm known Lenore.
Which is like now it's like oh shit.
And even before that, he's a shaky wide receiver. Or sorry, cornerback 1.
Yeah.
Like I think he could maybe step up into
more of a 2.
Yeah, we're not really sure about that.
Yeah.
So I think losing Ward, who I think is still in his prime. Like we know the year before he dealt with a tragedy in his family.
Yeah, he's a horrible. He
dealt with tragedy in his family, so he didn't play well.
Yeah,
the year before that, he was an All-Pro.
Yeah.
And so there's no reason to think I don't think he's 30 yet. There's no reason to think he's going to come back and not play really, really well.
Yeah, he was man in the playoffs. He's
was
good.
Like Marshawn Lattimore in the sense that. Maybe like his top end talent wasn't like the best, but in a game,
just a gamer
where you're facing a Justin Jefferson, an AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, fill in the blank, he's gonna step up to that.
And you want him out,
and
there.
He's gonna be a dog with
yeah,
him.
oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna face that battle. So yeah, 3 vets move on. A number of other guys moving on as well. Javon Hargrave, Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, Jordan Mason goes to the Vikings. Elijah Mitchell goes to the Chiefs. Major names.
Just kind of core members of the team.
Yeah, of the core member of this team that's been to multiple playoff runs, to a Super Bowl. Just 2 years ago in the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. Like it's just major guys leaving. 4 of the top 7 tacklers from last year are gone.
And it's a new era on defense, really.
Total turnover. Let's get into the guy who is here, though, and is here to stay and here for the long term.
Purds.
And that's Mr. Brock Purdy. The new, no longer Mr. Irrelevant, now Mr. Franchise.
He's very relevant now.
He's very relevant.
He's also the reason why this team is transforming. Yep. Once you pay a quarterback, this is what happens. You can't afford to keep everybody.
And we'll put this to bed. And you should have paid him. And he got paid what he deserves.
Yeah. We
have no problems with it.
You don't let someone like that walk.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to find a quarterback.
Bre Purdy he's gotten better every year.
He had an okay year last year. We'd like to see a little bit more out of him. But
there was a shit show last year.
But I think he's a good match for Shanahan, which is the biggest deal for him.
I love what he did last year because it was a shit show in San Francisco last year.
Yeah.
Everything was wrong. The locker room sucked. People are getting hurt. Christian McCaffrey's not there.
Can't walk.
And he was the only steadying force. So to me, it's like, yeah, he didn't put up big numbers, but that's almost like another box check for me. Anyway, 5 years, $265 million. $100 million guaranteed, the largest contract in 49ers history, $53 million average salary, $100 million fully guaranteed at signing, $40 million signing bonus, no trade clause, a full no trade clause, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That's not common.
Good for him.
So a full no trade clause.
Seventh round
listen,
pick.
Niners, I know you guys mess around a little bit with.
You guys make Jimmy G practice on the other field.
Yeah, not happening with me.
Yeah.
And so he gets a no trade clause. He's gonna be under contract through 2030 payday for Mr. Brock Purdy.
Good job. Last pick in the draft.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Good for you, man.
Record as a starter is 30-9. Top 5 in the NFL in passer rating since 2023. We think the deal is justified. I'm good with it.
I'm good with it.
It's amazing, really, for Mr. Irrelevant to the clear franchise quarterback after being buried in the depth chart. I want to talk about a little bit about his attributes because I feel like I hope system quarterback is starting to wear off. I hope because he's much more than that.
He's elevating above that. He's not quite out of it, but he's like on his way out of it.
You drop Brock Purdy on any team in any offense, and your team's going to be.
He's just a good quarterback. It's the problem with him is the ceiling. How high is it? But he's better than most quarterbacks.
I see athleticism. He's gotten bigger. I see crazy poise, great creativity when the play breaks down. Like you see accuracy, you see him throw the ball down the field. I mean, I think Brock Purdy is as good as anyone else in the tier below the top 5 or whatever.
Also, see some average. Jared Goff, him or Purdy.
Give me Brock Purdy.
Dak Prescott.
I think Dak's underrated. Dak was second in MVP voting 2 years ago. I think Dak's getting crazy underrated going into this year. I think Dak's pretty good. But I'm saying like Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud,
Kyler Murray.
I think he's right there with those guys.
Yeah, and he's young too.
He just doesn't have the pedigree.
Yeah, and it's different too. Like obviously he's a starter and he's been in the big games, but like you still view guys differently when they're a first round pick.
For sure.
Just automatically. It's brain telling you, oh, I remember seeing him on ESPN all over the news, highlights, all this stuff. Which is why Trevor Lawrence still gets love.
Yep.
But Purdy has to fight for everything, got paid, and he still is not viewed. He's an interesting cat. I'm curious to see if he has another step. That'd be great.
Seems like a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Good leader. No drama. Everyone seems to like him.
Shanahan seems to like him.
Him and Shanahan. It seems like
there was no really drama with the contract, I don't think.
Zero drama.
Just good done.
I love it. Let's look at the people around him, though. Christian McCaffrey, in 2023. Yeah, exactly. In 2023, he had 21 total touchdowns. Last year, he played 6 games, limited to 900 yards, and just it didn't even feel like that impactful.
Yeah, like, didn't he have arthritis in both knees or something like that?
In fact, I want to make sure those stats are right because even that seems a little high for me. I'm sorry. That was like 2 years ago. Last year, 50 carries, 200 yards.
Yeah, he was
pretty much just not there last year.
A curse to everyone's fantasy team.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I think about last year with him.
Tanked some fantasy teams for sure. We're hoping that he comes out, but he had double Achilles tendonitis.
Double fisting tendonitis is crazy.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. You know who also has that? Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah.
He has tendonitis. I'm not sure.
Well, it was after that huge, the carries that he got.
Yeah.
1 year. He got, I think.
The Panthers year. Or the Niners.
Niners.
Oh, yeah.
We had 21 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had like over 300 carries, something like that, which is what we're going to deal with now with Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley going into this year.
Yeah.
McCaffrey's the only other guy to do that.
And look what happened.
And look what happened to McCaffrey. So
legs gave out.
That's why you should be a little concerned about Saquon and Derrick Henry when it comes to fantasy. But don't want to get too far off that road.
No.
But Christian McCaffrey, though, I hope he comes back, and I hope for once they understand that he cannot take the whole load again all season.
Yeah.
You have to mix in Isaac Guerrero or whoever else you have back there.
I would like them to see attack the running backs even more in the draft. This is a very heavy running back draft.
Get someone.
One of my mock drafts, I had them drafting Genty if they fail, obviously, once upon a time. Like, I don't know. I feel like
I agree with you.
They say that, but then they don't do anything about it.
No.
So it's like.
Maybe a little bit of that, though, is that
Guerrero?
Shanahan has. No, well, that's an example of it, but Shanahan has been able to make more out of.
Less.
Running backs that maybe we didn't know about. No one knew about Jordan Mason.
Elijah Mitchell.
Knew about Elijah Mitchell, Isaac Guerrero. Like these guys, he saw attributes that fit his system, and they became stars. Yeah, type thing. So maybe that's why. But Brandon Ayuk, we talked about him. Missed a lot of time last year. ACL after holding out.
He was really He broke out, had the Super Bowl game where he didn't get any targets.
Yep.
Had the drama, got the contract, and then kind of sucked last year. He had like one good game last year. Yeah. And then towards ACL. So the last year and a half, it's been weird to evaluate Ayuk because I didn't know he was drama until he wanted a contract.
Then he was a ton of drama.
Then he got on the field and he was bad.
Yeah.
And then he's a weird guy to kind of gauge where he's at career-wise.
So last year he played 5 games, and he went 5 catches for 48 yards, 2 catches for 48 yards, 8 catches for 147 yards, and then 2 catches, and then he got hurt and missed the rest of the season.
I don't really understand why.
It's tough.
Yeah, he's a weird.
He's weird. The reason, though, that we don't understand is because the year before,
this is kind of breakout, right?
The year before that, he was 1,300 yards on 105 targets, 7 touchdowns.
Dallas is
playing second fiddle to Deebo Samuel and George Kittle.
And was probably the purest wide receiver that Niners have had in a long time.
So that's why the optimism, like, what's Ayuk going to do now that he has the whole show?
But it's the
holdout happens, the injuries happen. Here we are.
Yeah, and then they drafted Pearsall. So now you're like, how much targets he's going to get? Right. Now they kind of have a deep wideout room. Those two guys are just so huge. The reason we spent so much time on them is that they're so huge to this team and what this team could be. Like if they both come back, I'm gonna ask you that question in a second. Holy shit! Because I want to talk about one more person before I get there, and that's George Kittle, someone who did play last year and had maybe the best year of his career.
Last year, George Kittle, 78 catches, 1,100 yards. That's third amongst tight ends, 8 touchdowns, a ton of yards after the catch. I mean, yards per reception were up, longest catch was up, played 15 games, like a couple of huge games here. Like George Kittle had a year. Him and and Purdy seem to be on the same page. Like
they seem to melt pretty well.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Like, he's a big guy to this team. They paid him too, right?
Yeah. They paid him. He's like 30. He's like in his 30s now. They paid him a big
31.
Yeah, but he's a great blocker. He seems to be like a good guy in the locker room.
He doesn't seem like he's slowing down.
Niners like him a lot.
Takes incredible care of his body.
Yeah.
So I think if you're going to pay an older guy, pay a guy like that. He had some injury stuff, but the last couple of years he's been good.
He's been
pretty durable.
Yeah, he's been consistent there.
Okay, question then. I want you to answer 2 questions.
Okay.
What is the ceiling for this offense if at the end of the year McCaffrey and Ayuk are healthy, and what's the ceiling if they're not healthy, with and without those 2 guys? Assuming Kittle's there.
Healthy, they're in the title game. They're in the NFC title game.
Yeah, they're that kind of
100%.
Team. Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, healthy, that alone will get you the title game. Plus Ayuk, yes. Not healthy, they had the exact year that they had last year.
So you think, like, I was just asking the offense, but you think, like, their importance is to the whole, like, how far this team get as a whole.
It's just a lack of talent.
Yeah.
And in that division, we like the Rams a lot. Then they play each other so well, so it's kind of hard to. I don't know. They need their stars more than ever because they've lost so many. So if they have no stars now.
Without you're trotting out Isaac Guerrero and Ricky Pearsall
and Juwan Jennings. Those are your playmakers, which are nice, but you want to depend on Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey.
Expectations for Ricky Pearsall going into year 2.
Well, 1, don't get shot.
So far, so good.
Yeah. So no bullets in his body right now.
Yep.
2, just honestly, we had a couple of nice games last year.
Just say, man.
He had like the appendix
I'm
thing.
just not a Ricky Pearsall.
He had the appendix thing where he had a couple of nice games, and then you're like, no, what was it, week 7 or 16? I think he had over 100 yards. He had a pretty decent game.
His biggest game last year was week. I don't know what week it was, but against the Lions, he had 8 catches for 140 yards.
Yeah.
And a touchdown. And then the next week he had 6 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Those were his biggest games, except for one other game early in the season. But in a year where they needed wide receiver help, they didn't have much.
He was out there.
He had 31 catches for 400 yards.
You kind of give him a pass a little bit just because he was hurt.
Okay.
He had lost muscle and all that stuff. So all I want for him now is like an 800-yard season minimum. Like, just get out there and make.
But is that your expectation for him?
I don't think Purdy's going for 5,000 yards. So probably about 800 to 900. Maybe kisses 1,000.
If Ayuk misses the whole season, yeah.
Jennings is a good receiver.
Yeah, Jennings is, and then Kittle's going to be their number 1 guy.
Yeah. Then McCaffrey coming back, he takes a lot of targets too.
Sure. Yeah.
He's interesting.
If Ayuk misses, yeah, for sure.
If Ayuk misses, he doesn't go off. Like, okay, he's not going to be the guy.
Like last year.
Yeah. Like if it's.
I'm not a Ricky Pearsall guy because he wasn't that good in college.
Yeah.
Highlight catch guy.
He also was like a surprise first round pick.
Crazy surprise.
Yeah. Like people had him in the 3rd round, 4th round.
Should I even look at who they passed on?
No. Not last year's draft. No.
Let's look at the O-line. Trent Williams, 88.9 PFF grade, best in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's been the left. Is he the best left tackle in the NFL?
He's so good. He is so.
I don't know if he's the best or not. That's kind of a bigger conversation, I guess. But I don't know if there's a left tackle where you're like, yeah, definitely give me that guy over him.
I don't think there's one that you trust more in the NFL than Trent Williams.
According to PFF, best in the year.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Other than that, though, this O-line is not the same.
Question marks.
This used to be one of the dominant units in the league.
Do you remember? This is not anything relevant to this conversation. Oh, sorry.
Great. Let's do that.
To this era of football. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Remember they had Staley, Mike Upata.
No, that's totally relevant to this conversation because that's what I'm used to. The Niners having a dominant O-line. Let me read you so far the projected starters. Trent Williams, great.
Good.
Maybe best in the NFL. Ben Barch, 74 PFF grade. That's 23rd amongst guards.
So average.
On the low end of average.
Yeah.
Jake Brendel.
He's never been good.
61 grade PFF.
Not good.
That's the center.
Yeah.
Dominic Puni.
He's been good. He's good last year.
80 PFF, 11th among guards.
Kind of like their bright spot on offensive line is future. He's the future, yeah.
And then Colton McKivitz, 52 grade.
He's been bad a long time.
Gave up 7 sacks. He just seems like he's not very good.
They still trot him out. They don't address the right tackle spot. They need to. I'm surprised in this draft. I know they drafted Mikael Williams, which is nice, great. There were some tackles there. You could have gotten to plug and play that right tackle. Yeah. Start rebuilding this offensive line because you just read it off. A lot of old guys who aren't that good. But besides Trent Williams, who's like on his last.
You can get by with Barch, but Brendel and McKivitz are just bad
liabilities.
Yeah.
What you don't want in the playoffs, liabilities, especially on the offensive line.
When you play the Eagles, I'm just thinking like, okay, the best teams in the. I mean, you don't need to take the Eagles, but
Vikings, just a good team.
Vikings.
Yeah.
You know who's going to line up over Jake Brendel? Jonathan Allen,
Javon Hargrave. Yeah.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah. Yeah, Jalen Carter. Yeah, Jalen Carter against any of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really against any of those guys. He's
34 sacks allowed last. That's only 11th fewest. 20th in pass block, win rate, and then top 10 in rush yards before contact. So they could run block. A lot of it, I think, it's a Shanahan system. That zone system is successful when he runs it specifically.
Play action too.
But that's the O-line. I'm
Grade
a little worried. I'll give it. Trent Williams raises your floor. You don't dare give them anything above
or below.
Anything below a B.
Yeah.
But you're a B minus.
I think they're a B. That sounds weird. Their grade is a B.
I'll give him a B because Barch is okay too. Your 3/4 of your line is okay. Is good to great.
Yeah. You get to glaring holes, center and right tackle.
Massive holes.
Yeah.
This defense last year, 8th in NFL in total defense, 5th in passing defense. Rushing defense gave it 4.4 yards per carry, 29th in points allowed, 37 sacks, 11 interceptions. Not the defense that we're accustomed to when it comes to the Niners, but dealt with a ton of injuries.
They brought in the mastermind. They brought him back.
Yeah, we're gonna hold your horse.
I'm a big him fan.
You got the show notes ahead of you.
I know, but I'm a big him fan.
No, that's not the next point.
I'm a big him fan though.
Let's look at kind of the turnover in the defense.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to the guy who's going to lead it all. They lost Charvarius Ward, 3 interceptions last year, 70 PFF, by far cornerback 1. Tufunga, they lost him, but he feels like he's been gone for a year or so at least now.
He came
back last year. He got hurt.
Played with a club last year. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not too worried about replacing him from the Niners.
Well, look at the DB room now. You got I can't say his name. Lenore.
Yeah, baby. You nailed it.
Arrested. I'm gonna look up what's going on with him. And then besides that, I mean, let me look at the other cornerbacks here. We got Diamador Lenore. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bernardo Green.
Oh, God.
Uptown Stout. Great name.
Uptown Stout?
That needs to be a beer name.
That's a band.
What's up? I'll take an Uptown Stout.
It's like, oh, yeah. I thought it was a band. Like, hi, we are Uptown Stout. This is our debut single, Stout. And then, whatever.
You're very creative.
I'll give the whole album.
But yeah, those are the starters. I mean, Trey Brown they brought in, 67 PFF.
They have
Richie Grant from Atlanta, 64.
Another
Jason Pinnock, 69. Then a special teamer and another guy who's not very good. Like youth.
Yeah.
You were really counting on Diamador Lenore too.
Yeah, they have a lot, like in the draft, you were like, when you're trying to mock them in the draft, you're like, man, they have a lot of different needs. This is a glaring one. Cornerback, especially youth at cornerback, it's tough. A lot of old guys who aren't really good.
Okay.
And then Lenore.
So I don't want to overreact to the Lenore thing. He was arrested for obstruction of justice. So
Better call Saul, dog.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something that's gonna
he's
cause him to miss games.
He'll be fine.
Signed a 5-year, $92 million extension in 2021. So he's your guy.
Yeah,
I think confidence in him being a CB1, stepping into that.
Like 1 to 5, I give it a 3.
I give it a 4. I'm pretty confident he's going to be a pretty good CB1.
Yeah,
I think he's one of the more underrated guys. He's not that big though, if I remember right.
I thought he was a good.
Isn't he a little fella?
I mean, little fella. Is he 5'9"? To me, that's a big fella.
He's 5'10", 200. He's fine.
Yeah, he's decent size. Play inside.
He's not big, but he's fine.
Yeah. It would be a 3. It takes a lot to be a CB1 in this league to do it.
Behind him, it's youth. Youth across the board. At safety, youth at cornerback. At safety now they got Jair Brown, who seems like he's
kind of
He's fine.
Matured into a nice safety.
And then Malik Mustafa, who's going to be the replacement.
Another cool name.
Yeah.
Mustafa? Fuck yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, that's what they're counting on now.
Yeah.
And the reason it matters is because the guy they're bringing in to play defense, and that's Robert Saleh.
To coach defense.
Coach defense.
I'm sure he could play.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could play. Suit up. He's a stud. He was the guy for 300.
He would set an edge, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. He's not giving up an inch.
Outside of Travarius Ward last year, Northern Niners DB had more than one interception.
Not great stat for that to be said.
Robert Saleh's coming back.
Huge. Incredible that they got him back.
When he was the Niners DC from 2017 to 2020, they went to an NFC Championship game. They went to a Super Bowl, I believe. In 2019, he was second in yards allowed, first in pass defense, fourth in sacks. He brought back his boy Bryce Huff, who, I don't know, depends what you think of him.
He's
really successful in that wide nine.
He's specific. Yeah, he's scheme specific. Like
he's in the right scheme.
He's my scheme. So I expect him to have a decent year.
So I was reading a little about Saleh and what is he good at? Like what is he known for? And how does it fit this roster? And he's changed a little bit. When he was first with the Niners, it was a lot of chaos up front and sticky coverage in the back end. And when he went to the Jets, a little more zone, a little more of that kind of style, maybe because of the running quarterback movement in the NFL. Interesting to see what he's going to do here, because you're going to need this front to cover the ass of this young secondary.
Tell you what, they have a decent amount on the edge though. Mikael Williams, first round pick.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa, we already know what he is, and then Bryce Huff. That's more than most teams would love. That's more than enough. It's the interior D line that we just have no idea what that's going to be. And this team used to have like a plethora of first-round picks or guys in there that were decent.
Yeah.
Hargrave last year. That's the one spot where like you got to make it work with whatever you got. Now, I'm not sure what you got is good enough to be effective if you're not rushing anybody behind them. If you're
Kevin Givens and Jordan Elliott.
See, like, imagine those guys going against the Eagles' offensive line or lines out like the teams that you're going to face in the playoffs. Lions, Eagles, Bucks have a improved offensive line. Packers are good offensive. Vikings, like those teams can block. You want, and if you're not going to blitz, like, good luck.
I like Mikael Williams.
Yeah, he's great. It's in the interior worries.
Yeah, I like him, but I don't know if that's enough.
Him and Josh Huff combined, or Bryce Huff combined with,
and Yetur Gross-Matos as well. Throw him in there.
Yeah, why not? They're
a better year than Bryce Huff.
But you're just hoping that Saleh can get the best out of this guy. That's what you're kind of hoping that.
I don't know. You're gonna need some guys to step on the interior of the defensive line. Maybe they sign a vet. You're going into a lot of these veteran D tackles hang around for a while.
Trey Henderson wants a new team.
He's not D tackle.
I'm sorry, D tackle. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, I mean
like a vet D tackle to kind of step in. But they're gonna need someone's gonna need to cover someone here.
Yeah.
Either the secondary is good enough where quarterback has to hold the ball a little longer, so Bosa and those boys can get home, or this defense is so overwhelming with Saleh attacking gaps and bringing pressure to those front four that the secondary doesn't cover that much. We'll see what happens. That's going to be, the magic of Robert Saleh and kind of if he can kind of make that work.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see because you're gonna see like how good these coaches are next year with the Niners. You already know Shanahan's a good coach. You're wondering what he could do with no Debo, kind of a revamped offensive line, all this stuff. Then defensively, Robert Saleh, you brought him in because he's a stud as a coordinator. So you're about to see some good coaching. It's the ceiling for both sides of the ball that worries me because of the injuries and because of the youth and the unknown.
And then can Brock Purdy be the guy?
And then Purdy, you want
we should, as much as we're high on Purdy, it is a little bit prove it time now though.
Now it's like we changed our entire format of our team to keep you.
You need to be good.
It's now
get better.
It's your team.
Yeah.
Like you're the highest paid guy in this whole roster.
Let's do the schedule. Ready?
Yeah.
I'll feed it to you.
Okay.
Game 1, week 1, September 7th. They go.
McCaffrey's healthy.
You do it? Okay.
That's all I'm.
McCaffrey's healthy.
Yeah. That's all I'm thinking of.
Ayuk probably is not.
Is he on? What's the update on? Is he PUP?
He'd be on PUP.
So 4 games.
Yeah, probably at least.
Okay.
They'll go to Seattle.
So week 1 of Sam Darnold is nice. That's a nice lob for that defense, Saleh. I think that they start off 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah.
Week 2 at New Orleans at the Saints.
Wow. 2-0. Look at that.
Yep.
That's better than I thought.
You're gonna like week 3. Week 3, they'll host the home opener here for the Arizona Cardinals. They will host the Arizona Cardinals for the Niners home opener.
Okay.
What are you thinking about?
Trying to think of any way the Cardinals can win that one. It's like they need. Yeah, I'll take Niners.
Are we too low on the Cardinals?
Let's get when we get to them. I
that.
cannot wait to get to them. They're an interesting team. They're 3-0.
Next, they host the Jags.
You know what? I'm giving them a loss. I kind of like what the Jags doing over there.
I think so too.
And that's going to be it looks like a bad game, but that's going to be a fun game.
Yeah. Next, the division rival, they'll go to LA, play the Rams.
It's a loss. Rams are so good this year.
Kind of a tough section here of their schedule.
Nice, easy one, though.
And they go on the road to the Bucs.
That's a slugfest.
Across the country.
So, man, hopefully McCaffrey's. I'll give Tampa that. It's in Tampa, yeah.
Yeah.
So they win 3 and then they lose 3. They're 3-3 right now.
Then at home they host the Falcons. That's a tough game.
I'll give them a win though.
It's a good game though.
Yeah, good game. What was the record last year?
I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah.
At Houston.
I think that D-line gets. Oh, Houston's D-line's good too.
Houston's
defense is fantastic.
Houston's gonna be good this year.
That defense might be top 3, top 5 by end of the season. Is it in Houston?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a good game. I will give that one to the Niners though.
Niners were 6-11 last year.
Okay, thank God. Okay. Niners, that one.
At Giants.
Niners.
Hosting the Rams.
I think they got swept this year by the Rams.
At Cardinals.
I think they split it, so they're 6. So they lose it. They lose it. This one.
Hosting the Panthers. CMC revenge game.
Oh, if healthy, he's gonna have a credible
Monday night on Thanksgiving. By the way.
Oh yeah, easy win. McCaffrey's about to eat that turkey leg.
Mm-hmm. At Cleveland.
Win. Cleveland sucks ass.
They got a bye week. Late bye week here, week 14.
Probably nice though for McCaffrey if he's alive.
If he's still
playing,
yeah. Sunday, December 14th, they go to Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee's a nice team, a good team. They're not there yet though. So loss.
At the Colts.
Oh, sorry, win. I'm sorry. Win for the Niners. Sorry.
Okay. At the Colts.
I'll give them a win there too. It's a nice schedule.
Yeah.
This is nice for them.
Yeah, it doesn't end too bad either. They finish at home.
Okay.
First, they got the Bears. It's a good game.
I'll have the Bears that one. They'll have it figured out by then. The Bears.
And then divisional game of the postseason, week 18, they will host the Seattle Seahawks.
To win.
All right, so 6-11 last year. What you got them this year?
11-6.
Okay, flipping it. 11-6. I think that's pretty fair too.
It's a nice schedule.
The
schedule helps them a lot. They play
sure.
the Browns, the Saints, the Giants.
I mean, they avoid the Bills, the Bengals, the Eagles,
the whole NFC East,
the Chiefs.
Yeah,
like they're avoiding the Ravens.
No, based just the
NFC North,
NFC East too. Not playing any of those guys. That's a nice schedule.
Yeah, so they're playing the NFC South, their own division, and the AFC South.
That's a nice AFC South. AFC South.
Sorry, they are playing the Bears. Sorry.
The AFC South and the AFC South are two of the weaker divisions in football. This is not a hard schedule.
So 11-6 at least, maybe a little better.
Yeah, I think I had them split with a couple teams.
I like it.
You can't.
I think they're gonna have a good year. I do. I think they're gonna have we're okay.
Like we're the Niners.
Last year was nuts.
It was just a shit show.
But we're okay now. We cleaned it out. We got rid of some guys who are good guys but always injured.
Yeah.
You got Fred Warner back. You got Brock Purdy back. And then
11-6.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about this team, but a lot of things need to go their way. The schedule helps them out so much, though.
For sure.
You're playing fucking Tyler Shue, whoever the Browns quarterback is, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Like Sam Darnold twice.
Trying to look at they're on the road a lot early.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, they have a great schedule.
Yeah. The football gods blessed them.
X factors before we head out.
Christian McCaffrey, the biggest one. He could be the face of the freaking league if he's.
I was gonna say he might be X factor in the league.
Yeah, he's like the he's as good as Saquon as he could do what Saquon did last year.
Like
easily.
you said, if CMC and Ayuk are healthy, this team's probably playing in the NFC Championship game at least
because they're that good.
And honestly, if they're healthy and right, probably a Super Bowl type team.
Yeah,
well, the defense. We'll see the defense.
You need some coaching there on that side, but
X factor not name McCaffrey, Ayuk, or the obvious guys. What's a low key X factor?
It's a more position group. It's the safeties. Can one emerge to be one of the guys?
Tyre Brown or
Mustafa. Like if one of those guys can emerge to be like, oh, this guy's actual stud, he's a star. He could be one of the yeah. And then whoever they put opposite of Fred Warner, because that system works very well with two linebackers.
I think a low key X factor could be the rookie DN Michael Williams. Yeah, I think if he comes on and he's like
the guy.
Like, a serious guy.
Like, holy shit.
Like I'm talking about like Jared Verse. Like, this is Jared Verse.
If that becomes Jared Verse, they're definitely in the title game.
Like, I think I really like Michael Williams. I like 6'5", 270.
He was the mature pick of that. That's a veteran GM, John Lynch, saying, like, this guy just played good at a good school against good competition. Like what more do you want?
He's the 11th overall pick. Played at Georgia. He's 21. Won't be 22 till next year.
So a true 21.
A true 21, 6'5", 270.
It's like and then like you can give here Robert Saleh, mold this guy into a DN. You don't even need to play him full time. At the end of the season, you could play Bryce Huff or Josh Huff or no Bryce Huff.
Bryce Huff.
To start with him, then kind of slowly bring him in.
That'd be my guy.
And then NASCAR package, you could put them all three on third down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Michael Williams is huge. Is a huge
270. Yeah, he could probably kick inside a little bit.
Yeah. So
I like Michael Williams. Yeah, that's my X factor. If things are gonna go well, but yeah, this is a team with a wide array of outcomes. But I think because of the proven leadership on both sides of the ball, I'm talking about Brock Purdy, George Kittle on the offense, Trent Williams, and then the other side, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner.
If Bosa bounces back too,
I think the floor is still decent with this team.
Yeah,
like I can't see going in the tank here.
Yeah, they have to lose to bad teams, and that's
6-11 last year with everything going wrong.
Yeah, and if this year everything goes right with a nice schedule, yeah.
All right, Niners, I like it.
Niners are fun. They're finally they're probably first time in a long time they've had zero pressure.
Shanahan needs to win one. All right, that's our preview of the San Francisco 49ers. 11-6 is where we have them right now. I think it could be a little bit better.
Error up though.
If things go right.
Error up this team for sure.
A lot of fun. That's episode 250 for you. Happy 4th of July. Hope you have a good time out there. Stay safe.
Be safe.
And we'll see you back again with a preview of the Arizona Cardinals tomorrow. Peace.